What is up, everybody? This is Keith Jameson. Go back Gator Guy 231 across the DFS industry. Got Thursday Night Football. Ravens going down to Miami to take on the Dolphins, who are not very good. Looks like Tua is likely to miss at time of recording, or at least be the emergency quarterback. Ravens need to win this game. Dolphins aren't very good. They should take care of business. They're my 7.5 point favorites, 46 total. And let's just be real. This is another one of these slates that you probably are watching because of DFS more than you're going, oh man, this is a great game. So let's just jump right into the picks. Not a ton to say, just a quick reminder. If you enjoy these videos, like, subscribe, comment, all really helps. Let's just jump right into it. So I think the 100% owned play of the slate is Lamar Jackson. I do not need to waste your time on why Lamar Jackson and why he's probably captain. But, I think that's where you go in cash for sure. And then in GPPs, feel free to maybe go cheaper. But Lamar Jackson's first player in your lineups, and there's not really any other thought. I think the next player is Hollywood Brown because he's from Hollywood, Florida. So he's going to have some family there. Look, Marquise Brown, if you had doubts going into the season, which I probably did, not somebody I ever rostered a ton, guy is now just shoe-in number one wide receiver for the Ravens right now. 26 targets last two games. Look, that helped. It's been helped a lot by game flow. But realistically, the Ravens, despite in years past being a running team, they have been very much pass first with all the running back injuries. The fact that now they're having to trot out there Le'Veon Bell, Devontae Freeman. That would be great if it's 2011, but it is 2021. I almost said 22. So it's not nearly as good. So they're going to be passing the ball a lot. So Marquise Brown, to me, is the next plug. I've taken up a ton of salary. Well, let's just take up some more while we're at it. I think Mark Andrews is a phenomenal play as well. That would be kind of where maybe you differ on your construction, but Dolphins are not very good against tight end. Mark Andrews plays more like a slot receiver than a tight end at times. Definitely the number 2 wide receiver right now for the Ravens in terms of targets. Has 17 the last 2 weeks. Only caught 8. He's actually due for some positive touchdown regression. Maybe we can get another one of these 11 for 147, 2 touchdowns like we did versus the Colts. I am skipping over the Dolphins. I'll just come back. I just want to talk about the Ravens and then go back to the Dolphins. If you want to go Freeman, I guess go for it. 13 for 79, 2 catches on 3 targets. Look, I don't think it's a great play, but at 6,600, I guess I get it. I would just, for me, it's much more about locking in higher upside. And I think that you just need a lot of touchdown luck with Freeman to really pay off. I don't see 100-yard bonus. You're probably under double-digit points if you don't get a touchdown. He has a touchdown in 3 straight games, but at any point that could go to Le'Veon Bell, who's getting a little bit of work. Obviously, if it's being passed, freaking Lamar Jackson obviously can run it in too. So just be careful if you go Ravens running game. I'm going to be much more taking the GOAT that is Justin Tucker, but we'll get there in a second. Rashad Bateman, I think, is really interesting, especially as long as Sammy Watkins is either out or still being hampered. The target share has shot up since he has come back, 6, 6, and 8. Really, really talented first-round wide receivers. So I like him. He might come in a little bit lower owned. Could be interesting to do just a full Ravens onslaught of the passing game if you don't captain Lamar Jackson. Which is tough, but that's a way to do it. Maybe captain Andrews, Bateman, or Brown be a little bit different. Ravens D is certainly in play. It's not the same Ravens D we've seen, but like we saw on Monday Night Football, all it takes is pick 6, a fumble recovery to make these defenses pay off. Lev Bell at 5,400, I think is pretty thin. Yeah, he got 11 carries for 48 yards, but nothing in the passing game. It's not Steelers Lev Bell that we're looking at. So again, running back timeshares are a little bit just not as fun. Justin Tucker, I think is a core play. Best kicker in the game. Obviously, they trust him from long distance, especially in Florida. It's at 4,000, you're going, all right, can you lock me in 7, 8 DK? And could I really expect to get that from anything else down here? Probably not. So I think Justin Tucker will be super popular, especially in cash games. I think you might see some people shoehorn him into being a captain to fit more options. Down here, other kind of like some players I want to talk about, but I don't want to talk about. But I think that Patrick Ricard is somewhat worth a look at. Hit 5 targets last week, got in the end zone. Huge fullback. He's on the field a ton. All you're looking for is one of those like play action, dump outs into the flat. You know, and at fifth, and that's not 1,500. I hate how DraftKings on the desktop gives you the captain price every single time, but I think it's 1,200. Sorry, 1,000. 1,000. You know, get me 1 catch for 9 yards. Give me 1.9 DK. I'm pretty happy. Get me 2, and I'm jumping for joy. I think that covers the Ravens options for me. Going to the Dolphins, it's not nearly as fun because, well, the expectation is less DFS goodness. Now, if you go and say the Ravens are up 14-0 or 21-0, now you might have some Miami goodness coming in there. Jacoby Brissett at 9,800, I don't really think is a player I want to touch, but you know, if you want to like punt off captain, you know, give up the Lamar upside and floor to get him in there, I guess it makes sense. Just be careful. Myles Gaskin is getting a ton of work. I think I prefer him to Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett loving the check down. In the 2 games that Jacoby Brissett has started, you had 10 targets versus the Bucs, 6 targets last week, on top of getting a decent chunk of the carries. So I think Myles Gaskin makes a lot of sense at 9,400, gives you a little more upside than Brissett, unless, of course, you think the Dolphins win, right? Jalen Waddle has also been a favorite, just has 22 targets the last 2 weeks, in large part because the Dolphins receiving corps is so down. Jalen Waddle, you know, top pick. What was he, number 5 this year? No, I think it was 6 after Chase. But Jalen Waddle certainly has big playability. You know, so I think he's worth a shot. It's just hard. You know, do you want to go Waddle or you want to go Mark Andrews? Like, who do you trust more? I think that's where a lot of builds are going to come down to. You could also save a little bit and go Mike Gesicki. Yes, he's a tight end, but so many of his routes are actually run not in formation, but split wide. So you're getting wide receiver upside and you get a little bit of the tight end discount. Plus it's Thursday Night Football, right? Tight ends win you game or win you tournaments. So, you know, Mark Andrews, captain, run it back with Mike Gesicki. How could that possibly go wrong? Let's go down, see if anything else stands out. Matt Collins is worth a look. He had a few targets last week, 6 targets last week. So definitely worth a punt. You could go kicker, although I always just want to go the kicker of the team that I think is going to win. But, you know, going both can certainly pay off. If we want to go punt tight end, Durham Smythe, this really feels like a Thursday Night Football play, right? Is getting targets. I don't really know much about Smythe at all, other than I don't think I said his name wrong. I think I got it right. And, you know, it's cheap. It's a tight end. It's primetime showdowns. Normally it's paying off. Again, when we're down here, I don't necessarily think you're going in with any like sort of expectations. You know, you go, I know he plays. I know he's, you know, going to be out in routes. Let's see if I can get lucky. And speaking of getting lucky, I think Silvan Ahmed is actually half decent as a punt. Like, look at the usage, 7, 7, 7, 4 carries. Now, I wish that we were getting a lot more catches. I remember Ahmed back in Washington being pretty good out of the backfield, but he is getting targets. He didn't get it last week in Houston, but he has 2 targets at least in the last 4 games before that. So I think at 800, Ahmed, especially if you're just stacking up, you know, the Ravens and you need that 1 Dolphin piece, that could be your guy. All right, that'll do it for me. I hope that this helped. I hope it was a quick and efficient way to get some info out to you. Again, if you enjoy the videos, like, subscribe, and comment. We do appreciate it. And with that, I'll say good luck. See you.